bad. I was born to bring trouble wherever I'm at. I was born in the soul of misery, and I never had me a name. They just gave me a number when I was young. When I was young.
Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back with another episode of Texas Platinum. Please subscribe and keep supporting us on this channel. We're going audio only again this week. Matt, Madrid, and Thomas are out, but hopefully in the next week or two we should get back to our usual format of having all four of us and the camera on set. But for now, we're just going audio. I think y'all, we got good feedback on it last week, so hopefully y'all enjoy this episode here, and we're gonna break down the Kansas game and look at TCU as well as the rest of Week 8, Week 9, and give you our picks and locks, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'll just get right into it. Let's start off with the game day atmosphere. Trevor made his way to the student section.
Snuck in. Got right in. Figured out that it actually isn't too hard to, what's the word? Infiltrate. Especially on a game like Kansas, where going into the game, everyone was kind of assuming that, hey, this is our rebound week. After, an OU letdown, team's going to come out pissed off. We're going to put up a bunch on this team. They're the worst team in the Big 12. Granted, they are improved, I would say, compared to past couple years, but nevertheless, really didn't expect much of a game. So it was pretty easy to get into the student section. And yeah, atmosphere-wise, kind of from the start, it was kind of a quieter game. Student section definitely wasn't full. I mean, it wasn't empty, but wasn't full. Big, if you're a baseball fan, Astros and Yankees were playing Game 7.
Yeah.
So that was a big game going on. So especially in the second half of the game when UT kind of started falling off a cliff, you saw a lot of students actually streaming the Astros game, like from the game, which I found pretty funny. But yeah, just and then a lot of students leaving early and just being complacent, not really caring about the game just because it got to an embarrassing point, which we'll get into momentarily. But not a good environment. It harkened me back to when I was in my early years as a student, when under Charlie Strong, where, we come in pretty excited, the game starts out well, and then everything kind of falls to crap, and the students leave early and get frustrated and just shocked. Especially by the end of the game, after that 2-point conversion and the touchdown beforehand leading up to it. It was just silent.
Yeah.
The stadium was just shut up by that. And the ironic thing was, I don't think anyone in the stadium thought that we were actually going to stop that touchdown or stop that 2-point conversion. Everyone kind of knew it was going to happen. But yeah, not good. Not good in environment. Obviously, there was a big cheer when Dicker made that kicker. I always say that, man. When Dicker made that kick at the end, that was pretty hype. Not gonna lie. But then at the same time, a lot of people were still so pissed off that we were even in that situation to begin with. That that joy did not last but a few seconds, and then it was just like, wait a second, why are we so excited right now?
Right.
But yeah.
I was on the alumni side, so kind of contrast to the student section, and I was big chilling, honestly. The alumni side's where it's at. You just sit in the shade, just walk right in, no line. Those alumni sure have it nice. But
did you get the seat backs?
Yeah, seat backs. I was big.
Shoot.
I was chilling. It was nice.
Didn't have to stand up?
No, but it was cool, man. I was at first when the game kicked off, I was like, dang, this is a terrible turnout for the students. And it kind of got better as the game went on, but it's just the new line that CDC's implementing into getting into the game, into accessing like the student section is kind of pretty hectic right now, and it's just kind of discourages students from coming and all that. So hopefully we go back.
I would say though that it was much improved over Oklahoma State. Definitely. Okay. Like it really wasn't a problem. Like I said, I got into the student section this time around, and like I showed up 30 minutes before the game, and it only took me like 10 minutes to get in.
Oh,
so it really wasn't an issue at all. I still think a lot of students were kind of scared off by it still. So maybe for the K-State game, attendance will go up. But honestly, it's kind of at a point where, combined with that line thing that happened in an Oklahoma State game and Texas football kind of going downhill and the hype going away for the season, I think when you combine those two things, that's probably the main reason for why the attendance has been lacking so much. And also how they do the student section organization, because my sister's a student at UT, and she always gets to the games pretty early because of the friends that she goes with. And she said like whenever security organizes you to sit down, like they like to fill like an entire basically section first, instead of like, how about everyone get like the front row? So like basically they'll just shove all these people into one section at a time, and it leaves open these giant, massive sections, when instead what they could do is just, basically first come first serve, still implement the wristband thing in a way, but if they do that, then at least everyone's getting, close to the sideline for the students, and it looks more full than it does where you got these giant chunks of section where it's just empty. But
definitely.
Beyond that, so atmosphere was lacking from the beginning.
The game was. We started off. Let's get to the game now.
Yeah, let's do that.
Atmosphere was probably like 6 out of 10, but let's get to the game. And we started off. Offense got the ball. I think we received, and we just drove down the field and scored really, really easily. Roshan ran it in, and then we got kind of carved up on the next drive. I think Anthony Cook had a pass interference call, and Puka got loose, and they went down and almost scored. And I don't know how I think they may have missed a field goal.
They missed a field goal, yeah.
And then we went up and scored again, 14-0. Jake Smith with that nice sidestep touchdown on the sideline. I'm like, okay, this team they're finally mad.
Yeah, feeling good.
They're gonna kind of turn it on now. Defense is stepping up a little bit. We're tackling a little bit better. And in typical Tom Herman fashion, we get that lead, and then everything just
let off the gas.
Yeah. And I don't even know if it's letting off the gas. Maybe just everything caught up to us, but like
some boring play calls. We have such like a dynamic. We have the potential, I should say, for a very dynamic offense. But it's a matter of calling the right plays in order to like take advantage of that. And I don't think they do that very often. Granted, I think that's their style. Like they don't want to like put up a ton of points. Like they want to burn clock and they want to be balanced and stuff like that. But at the same time, that is a bit disheartening in a way.
Yeah,
when it's just like, oh, we're gonna go conservative now that we got a lead.
Yeah, and I agree, but we did have some wrinkles. I mean, we saw the Wildcat with Jake Smith.
That was cool.
Which was on a fourth down, which is kind of weird.
Not the Jake Smith one. They did a Wildcat with Roshan, and I was like, why haven't they done this yet? Like,
exactly.
Roshan's like a quarterback, and Sam can catch the ball, as we've seen from various trick plays over his time at UT. So I'm like, why the hell why didn't we use that? I mean, there's so many things we could have done against Oklahoma trick play wise. I wouldn't even really call Wildcat a trick play too much.
But it's a wrinkle.
Like, why have they not thought of that is beyond me. But continue on.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have. We were creative. We were way more creative against Kansas than we were against Oklahoma, which is also disappointing. Offensively, I really didn't have any problems. Keontae kind of had a nice bounce back day. He wasn't great, but he did what he had to do. He looked fast, and he wasn't hesitating, which is what we need to see out of him. And Roshan also had a good day, but he didn't touch the ball a lot in the fourth quarter, which kind of made me mad. Like, game on the line, I kind of want Roshan in
over
instead of Ingram, just because like what he's earned this season and what he's proved. But yeah, I mean, offense was fine. Sam besides this bonehead interception that
was horrible.
cost us like dearly.
Especially that in the fact that it was like basically in the red zone. So
Yeah.
that set them right up.
After we had finally gotten like a big stop, I think we may have blocked the field goal.
Yeah.
We'd finally like made a stop in the red zone, and Sam just next play just throws it right to a linebacker, right in his numbers, and it just kills our momentum. Our defense, like, oh man, and they score within the next few plays, and we all knew they were going to score.
It might have been the next play,
yeah, I think
actually.
it may have been the next play. So yeah, I mean, and then also the fourth down calls at Herman. That's kind of on Herman.
Yeah.
We went.
Just run Sam.
I don't even want to
Do that Sam package, or throw like the inside pass to Duvernay. Like, do something that's proven to work, and don't be all cute with this Jake Smith wildcat screen thing. Like, that was not smart.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know about going for it in the situations. Like, our defense is clearly like a crippled. It's messed. Like, it's a weak link of our team. It's the reason our team is not like prospering right now.
Right.
And we need to try to negate that as much as we can. And by what I'm saying is, like, if we're at the 50-yard line and it's 4th and 2 or 3, punt the ball, pin them deep, help your defense out. Don't give them 50 yards to go score a touchdown on you against our defense that's already injured, already not very good. And Todd Orlando's blitzing like an absolute idiot, just sending 3 people from the same side religiously, even if it's like 3rd and long and they're clearly going to pass. He's still sending half the DBs on a blitz that doesn't even get close to the quarterback.
No.
And just a bunch of things on defense. They look worse than they are because the offense stalled out. Like the 4 turnovers, the fumble by Jake Smith, the interception by Sam Ellinger, and the turnover on downs, both of them at like the 50-yard line. That gave Kansas 4 short fields. Yeah. And
very true.
That's what Herman said in his press conference. Like, you point your finger at the defense, but the offense has also contributed to giving the defense these poor positions to be in. And I think that Herman has to really just focus on being conservative with field position and helping the defense out going forward. Yeah. Because our offense will be fine, I believe. Like, TCU might be a little bit tougher. Their defense is a little bit better. But I don't know, man. If it's not 4th and 1, I don't want to go for it at the 50-yard line. Like, I don't trust to get 2 or 3 yards, especially with that defense. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the philosophy that Herman was just saying, let's just go for it?
I think the first time around, and I think we did get a 4th down conversion.
I think we did get one.
The first one we did, and that might have been with the Roshan Wildcat.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I'm not opposed for 4th and short, especially against Kansas, because I know that their defense certainly isn't like one to be too concerned with. I mean, I just wasn't a fan of some of the calls. Like, just keep it simple. Like, I mean, run Sam. I mean, if it's only 2 yards and it's against a team like Kansas that can't body us up like an LSU or an Oklahoma even can. Yeah, just keep it simple, or trust your big time players that you can rely on, like Duvernay, or even like a Colin Johnson. Maybe do like a outside pass to him or something like that. But like, I don't know, getting cute with Jake Smith, who, like, I love Jake Smith, but I mean he definitely has shown, especially in the past couple games, just his freshmanness.
Yeah, you can't fully trust him yet in like high pressure situations.
Yeah, he's muffed some punts. He's dropped some big time balls. He fumbled this game, which, I mean, granted, that was a great hit by the Kansas defensive player. That kind of jarred the ball loose, but then at the same time, you can't drop that. You can't.
Yeah, you got to know where you're at in the game, and also,
so I don't understand putting complete trust in him on a maybe like on a second down play.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I like that wrinkle. Like,
do or die play.
Let him do it. Yeah, and it's second quarter, I believe. Yeah, just go for it. Let Jake Smith do his thing, but not on 4th down. Like, no. you got if it's 4th down at the 50-yard line with a defense that is crippled, like I've been saying, you gotta give, like, if you're gonna go for it, you gotta give it to Sam or throw it up to Colin or definitely Duvernay. Duvernay's the guy you got to go to in that situation. Yeah. And we just didn't do that, and that's on Herman. And maybe it's on Sam checking out of plays. Not the Wildcat one, but there was one to Cade Brewer where I think it was a 4th down. Or maybe it was 3rd down. I don't know. But Sam Ehlinger was just basically he made a bad check and the defense read it the whole way and it just stopped it. And then it was a turnover on downs, or we field goal. We kicked a field goal or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And just little things like that. It comes down to coaching and Sam Ehlinger. But I mean, we're being really nitpicky on the offense. I mean, they did put up 50 points.
Right.
So
we did well.
It comes down to the defense, really.
Yeah. And it wasn't. I mean, just a brief last point on the offenses. It was nice seeing Cade Brewer actually get looks.
Oh yeah.
Finally, we're using a tight end for something other than blocking. And honestly, we don't use him for blocking that much anymore because we normally put him out wide. But it's nice to see him actually finally catch, some balls.
Yeah, he shut me up a little bit. I was roasting him last week about why do we have Cade Brewer out there in the slot, taking receiving reps. But he came in clutch on a few plays last week, and if he can keep it up, then I guess he'll earn his minutes. And yeah, I was happy with Cade.
Yeah, and nice to see Colin looking more like his old self. I mean, still he didn't completely explode, but especially that last drive, setting up the game-winning field goal, Colin was making some Colin Johnson-esque catches, which was great to see.
Yeah, he was going Superman Colin Johnson like he was against USC, really just making sure we don't lose that football game. He made some good plays. He ran some good routes, got open, and made the catches. And he was really smart, so he really knew like what point of the game we are. And the whole 2-minute drill that we ran in the last minute of the game was really impressive.
That was good.
It was like just they had practiced it all week and they just went out and executed it, except when there was 8 seconds left and we called our last timeout, and then we lead Sam Ehlinger out there for another play. I was like, oh god, this is Colt McCoy 2008 against Nebraska all over again. What are we doing, Herman?
I'm just like, I wasn't super opposed to it, but I'm just like, you gotta be smart here.
You cannot get tackled.
Like, you cannot. I thought what they were gonna do, I wasn't expecting a pass. Like, I was expecting, like, Sam to just center the ball.
We had no timeouts. That's why I was so mad. I was like, we have no timeouts.
Or to... Oh, yeah, that's right. So even if he did center it,
the game would have been over. So he had to pass it.
Wow.
So that's why I was like, Herman, what are you doing? Like, if you get sacked, game's over. If you get tackled in bounds, the game's over.
Well, shoot.
Yeah. Like, if I was Kansas in that situation, I would, Les Miles, I'd be like, look, put 5 people on each sideline and 2 safeties in the end zone.
Right.
And then, like, rush, what is that? Or 1 safety in the end zone, and then rush. You know what I'm saying? There's no one left to rush, but, like, you got to guard the sideline in that situation, and Herman was smart, and Ehlinger, they took that probably, like, 7-yard gain, a little 7-yard out route.
Something like that, yeah.
And that really made the kick for Dicker way more manageable, way more in his comfort zone. Because Dicker, the kicker, he'll hit the 55-yarder, he'll hit the 58-yarder, but those 40-yarders, those are the ones like
those are tricky
that he has trouble with.
Right.
And then
this was like a 33 or something.
Yeah.
So almost 40.
So I think those
made it a little bit easier.
Those yards made it more of a sure thing.
Definitely.
And
I don't think anyone really had a doubt that he wasn't gonna make it. I mean, I did have a doubt, but it wasn't because of Dicker. It's just because of the karma this whole game. The fact that, I mean, it just seemed like, I don't know, it seemed like we were destined to lose this game. So when we came out of it with a win, I was just like in shock.
Yeah.
More so than the fact that we almost lost to Kansas. I was more in shock that we somehow won this.
Yeah.
I think Kansas should have won this game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially if they take off more clock at the end, because everyone knew that, like I said earlier, everyone knew that they were going to get that final touchdown and those 2 points based on how our defense was just, completely
just
inept. Yeah. But yeah, still, just, I mean, it's great that we got the win, but if it wasn't for, Kansas taking off more clock, and also just there were like 6 points that they left on the board from a blocked field goal and
the blocked PAT,
which we returned for a safety. So that's a 3-point swing. No, that's a 5-point swing actually.
They would have gotten one.
That's a 3-point swing.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we lucked out in a lot of situations. I want to talk about the last drive when we were on defense and they just went down and scored so easily.
That was so bad.
It was pathetic. And if you
It
go
was
back-
like we were watching 7-on-7 football.
Yeah, like
Or like the like it seemed like a Charlie Chaplin film. Like I was actually laughing at that point because I got to the point where I'm just like, we're gonna lose this game, and at least I'm here for it, and I'm gonna witness history because I don't think Kansas has ever beat us in Austin. And I mean that would have been the upset of the year probably.
that would have been Les's signature win.
Yeah, I'm just the Mad Hatter, man. So I was like, I was not. Of course, I didn't want us to lose, but when when you're doing that badly, it almost becomes humorous just to see us completely fall apart. But yeah, it was so bad. Stanley just had his way with our defense. I mean, he completely figured it out. I mean, like you said, we just kept bringing this pressure, and honestly, like as long as you get the ball off in 3 seconds, you're fine. And chances are your receiver is going to be in like very soft coverage and just break one tackle and he's gone.
Yeah, he's going to get a nice
So
20-yard gain.
I don't know. This defense is just, I mean, yes, it's decimated by injuries, especially now. I mean, the fact that I recently read today that like apparently we had Mason Ramirez in the game, a walk-on. Like, that's not a good sign.
He was playing meaningful minutes down the stretch. Like on the last drive, he was in blitzing.
Yeah.
And that is just...
That's a recipe for... unless it's like a big-time walk-on, like a Baker Mayfield or a Hunter Renfrow or something. But, I mean...
But Mason Ramirez was playing running back like a few weeks ago.
Right. He's just there for...
That's just kind of...
scout team stuff, essentially.
Yeah, that just shows how depleted we are at the defensive back position. Safeties, mostly. We got... I mean, Jalen Green's still out. But on that last 2-point conversion where they just easily scored... If you go back and watch the
oh god, the 2-point conversion was so bad.
We dropped 8 in coverage.
Yeah,
and there was still a receiver wide open.
Well, I rewatched that recent. I should have rewatched.
There were
it
2 receivers
before
open.
Covering. Before recording this. But yeah, because I would know which player it was. But we had a man on the receiver that caught it in the end zone. But he completely misread the coverage, and he went with 2. Like there was a total of like 3 DBs on one receiver, because he jumped and went to this other receiver, leaving that one like open as hell.
That's just that's
just stupid.
Like I don't care who we have out there. Like Orlando, these are 4-star guys, except for Mason Ramirez. You got to put them in the right spot, man. Like,
yeah,
I know they're green and I know all that, but like you're dropping 8.
Just cover a man
defending like 10 yards.
Like why are you running towards a receiver that is already being double covered?
Yeah,
that's even if it's like a a big time receiver, you don't need to triple cover a guy on a play where it's literally do or die.
Yeah,
and they just got to throw it to someone.
One of the bright spots in the game was DeMarvion Overshown. Defensively, I've been begging for him to get some playing time, and he's playing out of necessity. He's one of the few guys that's even healthy, but he made some great plays. He had a great coverage down the sideline on one play where he almost intercepted a pass, and he made some good tackles. Byron Hobbs played out of necessity a lot, our backup B-backer, and he made some good tackles too. I mean, they're very green, but at least they're showing signs. And yeah, I mean, anybody else on defense like have a good game. I mean, Osai is always pretty good, but missing Malcolm Rhodes in the first half
huge.
Hurt. And whenever he came back in, we kind of got a little bit of a boost on the defensive line, but it didn't even matter because our blitzes were terrible and our corners can't cover. So, and then Brandon Jones going down also just adds insult to injury. Luckily, he's going to play this week, Herman said. So at least we have that going for us. But
I think Overshown is questionable.
Yeah.
And BJ Foster is questionable.
I saw BJ on campus today. He looked great. He better play.
Really?
Yeah, he's just big chilling. He's wearing camo Crocs. He's a country boy. If y'all didn't know that. He loves to ride his horses. He's from Angleton. So.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah, BJ Foster, we need him to play. And
we might be getting Jalen Green back, which would be big.
Yeah. Didn't he practice Sunday? Is that what Herman said?
I believe that's what Herman said, but they're still like kind of evaluating him.
Nice. I
So
mean,
that'll be big time.
yeah, we'll take all the bodies we can get, and yeah, I mean, this comes down to Todd Orlando. It's becoming like he's on the hot seat now. And
I mean, injuries aside, like, it's scheme too. It's play calling too. Like you said, just the unnecessary number of blitzes. Like I'm cool with blitzing. Like, I believe in blitzing, but when you're blitzing that many people and you do it that consistently, like, the offensive side, the opposing offense is going to figure it out really quick. And Kansas figured it out really quick. It's just like, step back. You got like a couple seconds, but as soon as you get that ball out of your hand, like, there's going to be a wide open receiver and there's going to be like one person there to try to make a tackle. And right now, I mean, it's just facts. We are like the worst tackling team in college football, basically. So
we are 130th out of 130th 30 FBS teams.
So I mean, I'll take those odds if I'm the opposing offense.
Yeah, and we like are the worst in a lot of statistics nationally. This is the worst defense historically in Texas history, and at just some point, like, I know the injuries are mounting and all that, and their offense put us in a bad predicament in a few spots last game, but this has just been a theme that, like, ever since La Tech, even when we were healthy, we were getting shredded up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then LSU happened, and just the whole season has just gone downhill. We're lucky we escaped with a victory. I mean, we're 5-2. We can still right the ship and get to Arlington, but right now it's just looking really dim. And this TCU team comes calling. I know they're not very good, but I just could see Max Duggan just going Heisman mode on us because our defense is just that inept. We're going to make him look like some elite quarterback like we did for Spencer Sanders, kind of, and like we did for Carter Stanley. And they got boys like Jalen Reagor, and I don't know. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it's just this defense is kind of do or die situation, and Orlando's job is really on the line, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Definitely. So, any final Kansas thoughts?
It was an awful game. I was disgusted. I didn't even cheer when Dicker made that field goal. I was like, this sucks. Like,
I cheered just because, again, like, I was at the
It's
point
a
where,
win,
like,
yeah.
it was like watching a comedy. Like,
it
was just so
really
embarrassingly bad that I was laughing at the fact that Kansas, like, just completely marched down the field, no issues. The 2-point conversion, I'm like, they're gonna get this, and, like, of course, their receiver is I've never seen a receiver that open in my life. I'm not even kidding you.
Especially,
he was so open. Like, they were like, I don't think there was a defender within, like, probably 7 to 10 yards away from him. Like, it was insane.
Yeah,
that was hilarious. And then like I said, like, I expected Dicker to make the kick. I wasn't surprised that he did, but at the same time, like, it seemed like the writing was in the stars that we are losing this game.
Yeah, like, whenever like the things happen down the stretch, like the Jake Smith fumble and then just getting a 2-point conversion, it just felt like West Virginia last year. This is destiny. This is Les Miles' signature win.
Yeah,
and we're gonna have to hear it on Twitter. It's gonna be awful for the next 5 years. We still hear about Texas losing to Kansas in 2016. It's still a common thing on Twitter.
They throw it out every now and again.
Yeah, and if we lost them again in DKR,
home, when especially
after
when we're ranked like that high,
and Ellinger announced us his back, it would have just been a dumpster fire. So
yeah,
I'm glad we didn't lose.
We dodged.
It would have been way worse. I mean, we're lucky. Like, we're 5-2, and we still have a chance to fix some things and go to Jerry World at the end of the season. But yeah, so you want to move on to TCU?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's put this Kansas crap to bed.
I'm getting just disgusted just talking about it. So, all right, new week. We're going to Fort Worth to take on the Horned Frogs. TCU. They're coming in at, is it 4-3?
I think they're 3-3. Yeah, 3-3.
3-3. Yeah. So TCU, they're coming off a loss at Kansas State.
Mm-hmm.
Max Duggan's kind of the guy. I was looking at his box score. Okay, so Max Duggan's a freshman. This dude has 9 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the year. Like, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, he's been splitting time with Alex Delton, but I think recently he's kind of just assumed
taking over.
Yeah, and 9 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. Like, I don't care. Like, those are good numbers for a freshman.
Yeah.
And like I was saying earlier, they got Jalen Reagor. They got Siwo Lanalua, who's a scary running back. I don't know if you've watched him play. I remember him from last year, but I think he's number 33. That guy's gonna give us issues. And then Darius Anderson's their speedster running back.
That's who I know.
Yeah, so
he's averaging 7 yards per carry.
Oh god,
that's an average. Granted, TCU really hasn't played anyone like their schedule's been pretty weak up to this point. Really, their best opponent has been Iowa State, which they lost to. So even though our defense is atrocious right now, we still might hold them somewhat in check.
Yeah.
But then again, no promises. At this point, nothing will shock me from the defensive side of the ball. But yeah,
and I just hope we can make plays on defense and just because this is a team that we should go in there and hold them to 25, 20, 21 points. Their offense is by no means a world beater.
No.
Even though they have talent. It's just their quarterback issues have kind of plagued them.
Yeah.
Since really Kenny Hill. Even Kenny Hill wasn't that great.
Right.
So, yeah, it's just... it's Gary Patterson.
Yeah.
He kind of has had our number recently.
Don't count him out. Even though we beat him last year, this guy has owned us.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't beaten TCU in Fort Worth since Mac Brown's last year.
Oh yeah, 2013. I remember that game.
Outside of that, they've owned us, especially on their home field. Because there's that one Charlie Strong year where they were up 28-0 in the first quarter.
Oh my god,
that was historic.
That was terrible. Bad. I remember I got my SAT and I checked my phone please, let's have a close game here. Maybe we'll be winning. And I checked, it was 38-0 at halftime. I was like, the Charlie Strong era sucks. That's when I was like, this sucks.
And then we beat OU the following week.
Yeah,
so.
And then we did nothing else the rest of the season.
That was it. But yeah, so it's been a while since we've won in Fort Worth. So, and obviously Vegas is taking, note of that because they only have us. The line keeps kind of moving around at the moment. What I just saw is that we're a 1-point favorite. Which is, when you think about it, kind of mind-blowing that we've fallen that far to the point where a 3-3 team that really hasn't done anything to stand out is now I know that we were even a dog, I think, a day ago.
It opened as
we were a 2-point underdog, and I was like, what the heck? Yeah, we're looking bad, but I don't expect us to lose,
yeah, it's just gotten to that point now where we've just slowly regressed this entire season. Our defense keeps getting worse and worse, and we're kind of like OU last year, with just not as good, we're a dollar store version of them, yeah, with a worse offense and probably a worse defense.
Definitely.
So it's just a bad combo, and yeah, after what we saw against Kansas, how could you pick Texas to win? If we were going to see the same defense out there, which we probably will, it's just getting worse and worse. How could you pick Texas to go into Fort Worth, a place where we never really win, and go and beat a Gary Patterson team that's going to be mad about losing a close game to Kansas State, and they're trying to pick up some wins. They're on a 2-game losing streak, I think. So
yeah, they are.
And Gary Patterson never lays down. They're always a really scrappy team. They always.
Especially against us.
Yeah, they hate us. So
it's Gary's favorite game of the year.
Yeah,
I think he even said it point blank before that. He just loves playing Texas, and that's always a game that they're going to get up for.
Yeah, and it should be a pretty good crowd, I would imagine. Hopefully, a lot of orange there, but I would imagine it gets pretty close to capacity, even though TCU typically struggles filling that stadium up.
Yeah,
especially this year since they're not very good. But I would imagine the atmosphere will be kind of hectic. Even though it's a 2:30 kick, I think it should be a decent atmosphere. So, we have to bring our A game for sure, specifically defensively. We just have to what would you quantify as success against TCU's offense?
How many points?
Point wise and just.
If we keep them under, 35, I'd be very impressed.
Yeah.
And that's TCU's offense.
Yeah, so that kind of just shows where we're at right now with Todd Orlando and this defense.
Yeah, Dungan Duggan scares me, just because, I mean, he's pretty good as a mobile quarterback. Like, I saw that highlight of him, like, running, 50 yards through,
stiff
5
arming some guy.
defenders. Like, that was a Tebow, that was a Tebow-esque moment. I mean, he was just boom, 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 just blowing everyone up. And our defense struggles mightily we struggle with everything at this point, but mobile quarterbacks, that's we saw what Jalen Hurts did to us, and I mean, even Carter Stanley got big runs on us. I mean, Joe Burrow got big runs. Even quarterbacks that aren't that mobile, basically anytime a quarterback runs, we're in trouble usually, unless we have a obvious spy on him, which we don't seem to do anymore with its defense. So
I mean, this game's going to be predicated on how our defense adjusts. I mean, Orlando, specifically on the schemes, you got to quit blitzing so much, man. These blitzes never get home. Just rush 4, put them all down lineman 4. It's from the 4-3, and then just
don't blitz.
Yeah, just don't blitz, because when you blitz, you leave people wide open.
Or blitz on occasion when they're not expecting it. I'm down for a safety blitz every now and again.
But just bring one, not three from the same side.
Right, from the same side where you're leaving a bunch of wide open men down the field.
And it doesn't even get home whenever we bring 3.
No,
so
very, very rarely.
So just I don't know, man. You gotta put Joseph Ossai's hand in the dirt, make him the 4th down lineman, and just let him use his speed just to get on whichever the less talented offensive tackle is, to try to exploit that. Maybe that'll generate some pass rush. And I mean, I'm not confident in blitzing Mason Ramirez and Anthony Cook, and I mean, even BJ Foster's been sucking recently.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta really just chill out with the blitzes. That's what really stood out to me the most about. People always want to use the coordinator as a scapegoat for a lot of things, but you could actually see it against Kansas. These blitzes were really hurting us in a lot of situations.
Right.
So we need to definitely cut back on that against TCU. And I mean, we got to contain Darius Anderson. We didn't really do a good job containing Puka Williams last week. And Darius Anderson's probably...
Or the OU running backs, but they decided to not run the ball that often. But if they did, they easily could have just carved us up. I mean, what used to be our calling card on defense, where we're not good at this, but at least we have, a run defense. That's completely gone away.
Yeah, and Puka Williams is really similar to Darius Anderson. When you watch them play, they're both really fast and kind of smaller, but really quick twitch guys, and they have breakaway speed. So, and we saw it against Puka Williams in Kansas. He really just gave us fits all night. He gets if you give him a hole at first, he's gonna go a long way.
Yeah.
So you got to really make sure that nothing gets opened up beyond line of scrimmage. Otherwise, he's gonna get loose. Then our poor tackling DBs right now are just gonna have get exposed. So there's not much room for error. I know TCU is not the most high flying offense, but they'll make us pay, especially with Jalen Reagor on the outside. I know he's going to burn the receivers a lot. Burn the defensive backs a lot.
He hasn't had a monster year. Granted, I think a lot of that's because of the quarterback situation, but I mean, dude is still a grown ass man. Don't mess with that guy.
Jalen Reagor, he used to be committed to Oklahoma. Could you imagine if he would have stayed at OU? He'd be a first-round pick right now. I feel bad for the guy. He's gotten no luck with his quarterbacks recently.
Yeah.
But he'll still end up in the NFL.
Yeah.
But that speed is insane. He's really physical and he's got sure hands.
Yeah.
And he'll be a problem in the return game too. So all these weapons they have, it's gonna have to. Orlando's job's gonna be on the line, I think, and he's got to rise up to the occasion, and so do the players. I mean, the players got to go out and save their coach's job.
Yeah, they got to stop with these bonehead mistakes.
Yeah,
missed tackles, and then from the offensive side of the ball, I mean, you're still seeing big time drops. I think Duvernay dropped his first pass.
Oh man,
against Kansas, and I'm like, oh my god, to me that was another sign that it was this game is destined to be either really bad one or like a loss even.
Yeah. And speaking of drops, Malcolm Epps dropped another pass. That was a beautiful ball by Sam Ellinger.
I don't trust that guy
Malcolm
anymore.
Epps, man.
I wanted to like him so much. Like, I mean, you call him like the dinosaur. Like,
Yeah,
he's awesome and, you know, giant dude. But gosh,
he's
outside of that Rice game, like I have
a liability.
zero confidence, and I've lost confidence in Jake Smith too, just because he's had some big time drops. I know he's a big time talent, but
He's still green.
Then Ingram is always hit and miss. You know, he'll have his good times, but he'll have a lot of struggles as well. So, I mean, like, outside of, you know, Sam and Devin Duvernay and I guess Roshan now.
Yeah, Roshan.
I don't have a lot of confidence, you know, just generally speaking in this, even in our offensive attack.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Colin Johnson can keep it rolling.
Yeah, he's got to continue to step up.
He picked it up in the second half, which was great to see. Kind of the first time all year that he's really looked like the old Colin Johnson,
right?
Especially in that last drive. So we didn't have a big day because Malcolm Epps is just a liability, and if Colin Johnson can go in and take his minutes and just kind of make the plays that he's not making, that'll really help out our offense, and it'll help our defense out in turn. So our drives won't stall as much because. There was one time Malcolm Epps cost us on a drive. He dropped a pass, and we had to punt it or go for it, and then we got stuffed. I forget what it was, but he was the reason that our defense got a short field.
Yeah.
So just little things like that. And, hopefully Keontae shows up. He's kind of hit or miss, like you said.
Hot and cold.
But their defense is no joke. I mean, they've given up points, but
yeah,
they got players like...
big-time guys. Ross Blacklock.
Ross Blacklock. He's a beast.
I can never say his name right. That's, you know, maybe not a first rounder, but like he's a definitely an NFL caliber guy.
Yeah, he was injured last season, but he was supposed to break out last season, but he got hurt early in the season, so he missed the entire year. And then this year is kind of just picking up where he left off. And he was like a 4-star guy, one of the higher rated guys that TCU ever has landed. And he's really like meeting expectations. And the guy that I'm like the most high on their defense is Garrett Wallow.
Yeah.
He's like a safety converted to linebacker, some white guy, but he is freaking like, he's a killer.
I was looking at the stats for like TCU and like literally like, especially tackles wise, like he has like, I don't think it's, well, let me pull it up right now. I think I might still have it up. Like he just completely dominates the team when it comes to like tackles. Like he is their defense basically. Where is he? Yeah, 63 total tackles, like 3 sacks. The next highest guy that on the team with tackles has like 30. So literally he has twice the number of tackles as like the next leading guy, and that's a safety. So
that's insane.
I mean, the defense basically runs through this guy. So definitely be on the lookout for him.
Yeah, and then also in his games, their safety, he's always struck me as like a baller. He's really physical. He kind of plays that nickel position too. I think he's number 6, so look out for him. He's going to give us trouble, I would imagine. I think LeKendrick Van Zant is kind of ruled out for Saturday. Patterson said earlier today. I don't know how much of a player he is for them, but my friend was saying he plays a lot of minutes. He's a linebacker. He only has 10 tackles. Maybe not, but he's not playing. And there was someone else that's probably not going to play. Either way, their defense is going to be a tough challenge, probably tougher than Kansas. Definitely tougher than Kansas' defense. So, I mean, our offense has got to make plays and stay on the field and make sure our defense, in turn, gets the ball in, like, normal, like, deep fields where they can actually have a chance to make stops and just do their thing. So,
yeah. Does that do it for TCU thought-wise? You want to go into predictions, or do we have anything else to cover?
Just a little side note. What did SMU beat TCU by? Was it like 4 points?
Let me look.
Whatever it was.
It was a close game. I remember that.
Whatever it was, we need to beat them by more than what SMU did.
SMU, for the sake of our credibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, by
3 points.
4.
Okay.
Well, yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4.
41-38.
That's 4.
That's like, no, that's 3.
1, 2.
No, like
3,
if you count
4.
them, but like subtract them.
30.
Okay.
40.
With the win.
What the hell? Why are we? Hang on, I'm pulling up a calculator because apparently
All right.
I can't count anymore.
Leave it in the comment section. TCU lost to SMU 41-38. So
Yeah,
that's 3 points.
It's 3 points.
Trevor thought it was 4.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So either way, we need to win by more than 3
My
points.
math is not good now that I'm out of school. I'm a bit rusty.
Hey, it's all good. So yeah, if you go look at the Twitter account, Barstool Twitter for SMU, their Twitter name is Best School in Texas. SMU, best football school or best football team in Texas. So we need to kind of just.
They're undefeated.
I mean, they're good, but like
Baylor's ranked higher than them though, so Baylor has earned that right.
Yeah, Baylor's ranked higher than us now, which sucks.
Yeah.
But at least we didn't lose, because if we'd have lost, we'd be unranked right now and feeling disgusting. So
We'd be unranked.
oh yeah, 4-3 with no big wins. I think we'd be unranked,
I
right?
feel like we'd be in the low top 25.
yeah,
Maybe like
maybe.
a 23. I don't know. Maybe not.
But yeah. So that's just a
I mean,
little side
we're
note.
riding the coattails of that LSU loss at this point.
Yeah, how did we beat that? I won't lose to that team, but like we should have beat that team. Like
I
that
mean,
that
yeah.
game was there to win.
Yeah.
That just shows. I know we were a little bit more healthy, definitely a lot more healthy back then. But
Our offense was cooking that game. That's why.
yeah, that too.
That was the highlight of our. I mean, that was the best our offenses looked all season.
It wasn't the second half though. The first half they weren't even cooking. So
That's a
like.
fair point.
Like that game was very winnable, and LSU, we'll see in I think 2 weeks they play Bama, which will be an amazing game.
Oh, I'm excited.
But it's looking like LSU might be like a national championship team, and Joe Burrow's like the #1 draft pick now. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's a quality loss, which I hate to say, but I guess that's what's kind of giving us some rep. I mean, we lost to LU by 7 also, but that felt way worse.
Yeah,
So
looked way worse too.
yeah. So yeah, I mean that wraps up TCU. I would like anything else.
Predictions?
Yeah, let's just get to predictions then.
What does Matt? Since Matt, as y'all have noticed, Matt Madrid is not here. What was his prediction for the game?
It was 31-27 Texas.
Okay,
Yeah, so kind of a low scoring game. Like I'd be happy with that.
27 point. Like
That's a
personally,
win.
I can't even envision that.
Yeah, me neither.
But I'd be happy with that. He said 31-27 or 37-27.
31-27. So a 4-point win.
Close game.
So we're better than SMU according to Matt.
Good. I guess we'll hop into mine. I'm predicting us winning 38-35, so that would be a 3-point game. I can do math now. Ha. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I just really don't have... I mean, my confidence in this team is just hurt right now. Like, I do believe that we'll win this game because we are a better team than TCU. TCU is not... They're definitely not a bad team, but they're average. And we're, talent-wise, like, we're above that. So I think that alone, like, should constitute a win. And if we do just basic, get stuff done and just do our basic stuff, like, we're going to be fine. However... Our defense is just so atrocious that I feel like is gonna, honestly, every game from here on out, I think could very well be a close game that goes down to like a final drive. That I think that's just kind of the reality that Texas fans have to swallow, as much as we don't want to. That our team is no longer. I mean, I don't think we ever really thought we were elite, but I mean. Going into the season, I think a lot of us were like, yeah, we'll definitely be in the Big 12 championship. And, at that point, you might be in the college football playoff. But,
yeah,
I mean, this is not a playoff team. This is like maybe a championship team if we can like turn this around. So, honestly, every game from here on out, unless our defense does something miraculous come Saturday, I'm going to be skeptical. So... I got us winning a close game, 38-35. I do think TCU's defense is good enough to hold us under 40. And yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, those are some good points. I think that, like you said about our team not being a champion, like a playoff team, like I don't even think we're a conference championship team right now. Like,
yeah.
Like, we don't even control our own destiny. If Baylor beats OU, like, we're not making the Big 12 championship.
Yeah,
it's not happening. So, and we have to run the table and get a little bit of help. I mean, OU will probably be Baylor, but we don't control our own destiny. And then we have to win in Ames, in Waco, against Texas Tech, yeah, and then at TCU. I don't see us with our current defense and it's just looking like it's getting worse and worse going unscathed. I think it's gonna get a little bit I think the season's gonna get a little bit worse before it gets better. Which, I mean, that means basically the season's like looking like an Alamo Bowl bid. But I don't know. I wanted to see us after OU come out like with a chip on our shoulder, like a point to prove that we're gonna keep it going and flip the script and just kind of start making plays, especially on defense, and just kind of getting that physical, sure tackling defense that we used to have under Orlando. Just start living up to it again. But we did not against Kansas. We played probably worse against Kansas than we did against OU. So I want to see us get mad and like turn something around against TCU. If we go out and come out scared again and just nothing's changed on defense, like it's just going to be a long end of the season because it's already week 8. This is kind of who we are. Right. Week 9. So I mean, I know we're unhealthy, but man, like we just got to get this win, get to the bye week, and hopefully when we get Kansas State, we'll have like Caden Stearns and all them back, Jalen Green back, and just hopefully we can start get something going on defense so we can kind of have some confidence and some continuity going into the stretch of at Baylor, at Iowa State, and Texas Tech. So, yeah, so for my prediction personally, I think we're going to win this game. I think it's going to be like a 35 to 41 type game. Is that what you said?
I said 38-35.
38-35. So, yeah, I say 35-41. I think it's another nail biter. We win it at the end. And I think we have a late touchdown to kind of just seal it. And our defense makes some plays. I think we forced like a couple turnovers, but just people running free and missing tackles and all that. Darius Anderson having over 100 yards on us. So, yeah. I mean, if our defense can hold them under 35, I think that's enough to win. But, yeah, I want to see our defense like make a big improvement,
or even just a little improvement.
Yeah.
Any improvement, like I'll take whatever at this point. Like,
yeah.
Really. I mean, when you're this low, like even just a little glimpse of hope is gonna be nice.
And Todd Orlando's coaching for his job this week officially. So let's see. Not officially, but it's looking that way. So let's see how he does, and let's see how he reacts to the pressure. Our backs against the wall. Malcolm Roach was. I think he was interviewed today, and the guy asked him basically, like, how do you come back from this? And then Malcolm Roach said that last season we beat Tulsa by 7 points, and everybody was doubting Texas. We just lost to Maryland, and we ended up winning the Sugar Bowl. So this team does have it in its DNA to kind of bounce back from just mind-boggling, ugly wins and bad losses. Some of those players in the Sugar Bowl team are still here, and they know how to bounce back. I mean, at least they did last year. So
yeah,
I mean, we just gotta hope for the best at this point.
Right.
I mean,
so yeah.
I mean, we all picking Texas to win, but I would not be surprised if they lose this game, just based on what we've seen in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that wraps up TCU. I guess we'll briefly touch on Week 8 college football and then hop into Week 9 and then locks. Week 8, nothing overly exciting, at least from what I saw. Penn State did end up beating Michigan, which, I picked Penn State. I remember
good pick.
And Madrid, I think, picked Michigan to come back, but... Penn State continues to roll, it seems like.
Yeah, Michigan had a chance. They started off terribly, but they clawed their way back into that game, and then they had Shea Patterson made a good pass in the end zone to tie it up with like 2 minutes left in the game, and the receiver just dropped it, turnover on downs, and then Penn State just kind of ran the clock out from there. But yeah, Michigan is kind of just they just can't win those games.
No.
It's on Harbaugh, and I'm hoping Herman's not one of those guys. not
Right.
Jim Harbaugh.
You
One of my
start
friends
to
texted
wonder.
me. Yeah, is he of the same cloth of Jim Harbaugh? So
Where it's just like, yeah, you'll get those 9-10 win seasons, but nothing significant, comes from them.
there's a ceiling there.
And Mac had that for a while until 2004, 2005, and
Yeah.
the Colt McCoy years. But up to that point, it was a lot of 10 win, maybe even more than that, but never really amounted to much at the end. So
Yeah, and I actually saw a report today, which it basically said that Jim Harbaugh is looking for a way out, eyeing like a job in the NFL maybe.
oh really?
And that's his alma mater that he's trying to ditch.
That's a
and
bummer.
It was on Football Scoop, so Football Scoop is a really credible source. They're never wrong, and like they're the first ones that broke. Herman was going to LSU. He's going to Texas. Fenvez was meeting with Herman in some undisclosed location. So that's a great source. So I would imagine it's a true rumor, and it just makes sense. I mean, Harbaugh is under so much scrutiny, and he just can't win. He's like overshadowed by Ohio State, and they just bully his little team every year. So yeah, it's just not looking good for Michigan.
Yeah, he should probably. My advice to him, not that I know a thing about what it is to be a college football coach, but maybe take a couple years off before trying to get into the NFL, because right now, I mean, he's lost his luster, completely. He used to be this shining diamond that everyone wanted, and now it's just, it's not that.
It's just same old Jim Harbaugh, 10 win, 8, not even 10 win, 9 win, lose the big game. So yeah, let's stick in the Big Ten right here. Illinois upsetting Wisconsin.
Yeah, big time. That was surprising.
I didn't like. That's the biggest upset of the season.
Right.
I think Wisconsin was favored by 30 points.
Yeah.
And Wisconsin jumped out in that game and were in control of it. And I just kept on like getting updates. I was watching the Louisville Clemson game, I think, and I just, like Wisconsin. It's a 10-point game, 7-point game. Like, oh, whatever. They're not going to lose. And then I look at my Twitter and Illinois is kicking a game-winning field goal, and they make it, but they just beat Wisconsin. So, and that kind of sucks for Wisconsin, especially because we had this great Ohio State-Wisconsin matchup this week that was supposed to be like a top 5 matchup.
Right.
Now it's just kind of like, okay, Ohio State's kind of going to beat them handily. And they don't even get game day now, so game day's going to freaking South Dakota, which is stupid. But
they're going to South Dakota?
Yeah.
What?
Giving those FCS schools some love, but
damn.
Like, why? But yeah, Wisconsin loses. I think they still control their own destiny. They definitely do. If they win out, they're going to playoff. But it's just I don't see it anymore.
Yeah.
Especially with Ohio State on they have to beat Ohio State essentially twice.
Right.
So yeah, that's not happening. What other games were there?
Oregon edges out Washington in a pretty slugfest rival. Not slugfest. The scoring was definitely there, but
It was a rock fight.
rivalry game. So that was exciting to see.
Yeah, so Oregon's kind of emerging as the team in the not even the Pac-12 North, just the Pac-12 that.
Has
I mean,
a chance.
if they win out and chaos happens, they could get in at 12-1.
Yeah.
But that loss to Auburn, they need Auburn to play LSU close this coming week or win, because that's kind of like holding them back. But it can be a good thing. I mean, Auburn's only has 1 loss right now, right? So if Auburn goes off and beats LSU and then beats splits
crazy.
Georgia or Bama,
Jeez.
then Oregon all of a sudden is looking like a really good team with a really quality loss.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep an eye on. And yeah, another game was
Baylor crushing Oklahoma State. Man, like I'm glad that I finally have hopped on the Baylor train. Like they just keep rolling. I don't know if I have a hard time like figuring out though. Like, is Baylor that good, or is Oklahoma State not as good as we thought they were compared to when we played them?
Oklahoma. I think it's
Or maybe they just weren't that good and we just suck that bad.
no. I think that's part of it, but also Oklahoma State had a lot of offensive line injuries. I think actually since like they played us, like,
Oh, really?
or actually during our game. That's what I read, and that could be part of why their offense is kind of stalled and their defense still has struggles. So, yeah, I mean, that was surprising. I picked Oklahoma State to win that game. It was homecoming in Oklahoma State, and they take homecoming very seriously, and they typically always get up for those games. And they were in that game. They were winning down like in the third quarter, I think. And then and then a few bad breaks, and all of a sudden Baylor smells blood and breaks it wide open.
Right.
So Baylor with a big win on the road, and Baylor, they got West Virginia and TCU in a bye week before they play OU, so they should be going to OU at 8-0 or whatever it is, 9-0.
Dang.
And then we play them the following week.
That might be a game day.
Oh, definitely. I looked at the schedule. It's definitely going to be game day.
Should be, actually.
Yeah, there's not any other huge games that weekend. So, I mean, they should both be 9-0, and yeah.
So
and that'll be a
thought.
And we need, as Longhorn fans, we need Oklahoma to win that game.
Oh, definitely.
Just so we can continue to control our own destiny in conference. But yeah, Baylor is freaking Matt Rule, man. Like, speaking of Jim Harbaugh, to Matt Rule to Michigan. That's what I've been saying.
I've heard that for a little while, actually, that they're probably going to go after him next.
Like, I would want him over Matt Campbell. I don't know who Michigan would get, but that'd be my first call. Like, this guy is turning around. He did the same exact thing at Temple.
Temple, yeah.
Like, year 3,
really
they were really good. Year 2, improvement. Year 1, trash. But the freaking blueprint is there, and
seems like a classy guy.
Yeah,
too.
and he's a very classy guy that you want, like,
I think
molding
he might
these
even
kids.
be like a Midwestern guy too.
Yeah, he's
right?
he played at Penn State.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, I think he's from New Jersey or Pennsylvania, one of the two.
Well, that's
Big Ten country.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Michigan's a job. Even if you're not really a Midwest guy, that's a job you take. And he's got those, I guess, Midwest ties with Big Ten East ties. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the guy to go hire if you're Michigan. You can probably get him decently cheap too.
Mm-hmm.
Probably don't have to pay him too much to get him away from Baylor, but that'd be a fat buyout because you just did that extension. But yeah, Baylor looking good. They're really scaring me.
Yeah,
and hopefully we can win in Waco whenever that time comes. But yeah, any other games?
I guess sticking in the Big 12, since that's probably what y'all care about as listeners the most. Oklahoma handles West Virginia without any problems, and then Iowa State beats Tech, and I believe it was a close game. I'd have to double check the score.
Iowa State jumped out 20-0, I think, and then Tech kind of clawed their way back.
or not.
And they made it a close game down the stretch, but Iowa State kind of
they're improving.
Yeah,
they're continuing.
They're doing their thing.
They're doing what we feared would happen, and we're gonna. By the time we come to the collision course with them, they're gonna be at the best that they've been all season.
And they're gonna be primed for that big upset, and they're gonna be at home. So it'll be a night game, I would imagine.
Night game in Ames. Oh Lord.
And they're already climbing the polls again. They're ranked 23, and by the time we play them, they'll probably be they do play OU the week before us, which I think is a good thing.
Definitely
for us. But yeah, they're no joke. Brock Purdy is tearing it up, and their defense is always scrappy. So
yeah.
And another game that I enjoyed was the Florida-South Carolina game. Will Muschamp jumped out on Florida early, and I was like, dang, South Carolina, if they win this game, they're in a great spot in the SEC East. But over time, Kyle Trask and Florida just persisted and were able to pull it out. And Kyle Trask is a freaking beast, man.
Yeah.
That Felipe Frank
I'm not
injury,
giving him enough credit, honestly.
No, he's
I'm
good.
not, at least, but yeah.
His numbers are
not bad.
I kind of wrote him off because they said he didn't start in high school, so I was like, all right, he's probably just like a walk-on.
Well, he went to the same high school as King.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah, so that Florida-Georgia game, I believe, is next weekend or in 2 weekends. That's going to be. It's looking like Florida might be the favorite now, which will be awesome. I'm down to see Kirby Smart crash and fail. So yeah, bring it on. I'm glad the SEC East has another legit team finally.
Yeah, some not all this, consistent.
Yeah, Georgia just had
same old
cakewalks the last few years.
Yeah.
So
off with their head.
I mean, BYU upsets Boise State in typical BYU fashion in Provo.
That was ridiculous. That was one of my locks too. I went 2-1, so
that's good. That's good.
At least I came out with a winning record, but still, I don't know. You just shouldn't bet against BYU.
Yeah,
they always,
they're bipolar.
They can be really hot and they can be really cold. You just don't know what you're gonna get with that team.
Yeah.
But let's move on to week 9 for our picks.
Let's do it.
What do we have up first?
Yes. So our first game on the docket. It's a pretty good week in terms of matchups. The first game on the docket is Wisconsin at Ohio State, the big noon game on Fox. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, the Illinois loss has definitely hurt.
Yeah.
The perception of this game nationally.
I mean, honestly, even before Wisconsin lost, I really didn't. I expected it to be a, somewhat competitive game, but I still expected Ohio State to win by 14 points.
Yeah.
even against Wisconsin, because those guys have just been rolling. So I mean that I'm taking Ohio State to win the game, even before Wisconsin lost. It makes you wonder if Wisconsin will come out like extra motivated just because they just lost a game, but there really isn't like or like you said, rejected. I don't know. I mean, Ohio State just really doesn't have a weakness, and I don't see them losing unless they just completely beat themselves, which they haven't shown, all season that's something that they might do. So
yeah,
Ohio State.
I agree. Ohio State's going to win this game, but I think Wisconsin covers, and I think it's a really great game. I think Wisconsin comes to play, they come out motivated, and it goes down to the fourth quarter. So yeah, Ohio State in a close one.
What does Madrid have?
Madrid has Ohio State as well.
All right.
Auburn, LSU in Death Valley, which is a really fun game. You got Bo Nix going up against Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Auburn's kind of been fool's gold, in my opinion.
They've fallen
similar
from
to
grace,
yeah,
like us.
Yeah. Florida was the fool's gold. Now it's Auburn in the SEC. Florida's
Right.
kind of legit now. And yeah, I mean, I think LSU wins this game, and I think it might be pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
I think it's a 2:30 game, CBS, so
Yeah.
not a night game, but I still think that Joe Burrow and company, Terrace Marshall's back. I think they light up Auburn,
Definitely.
and their defense. Auburn's offense struggles to score on LSU.
I see Bo Nix showing his, because I mean, like that first game, like of course everyone was like, oh my god, this guy's amazing. But then like especially against Florida, he just did not look good. And
Yeah,
I mean, I know that the Swamp is like, a tough place to play, but it ain't Death Valley.
yeah, Death Valley is probably the
Even though it's not a night game, like man, yeah.
Yeah, LSU's ranked
rolling.
2. They're going to be that stadium's going to be cranked up. They know they got a championship team this year. So.
Yeah, it's actually one of my locks that we'll get to, but yeah, I have LSU winning this game without any problems at all.
Penn State at Michigan State.
Oh, and what does Madrid have?
Oh, on Auburn
right?
LSU, Madrid has LSU.
Yeah.
Sticking with Joe Burrow. All right, so game 3 we're talking about is Penn State at Michigan State in East Lansing. I'm taking Michigan State here with the upset.
Ooh,
My friend goes to Michigan State. I've been saying this. Michigan State's going to get somebody.
really?
Penn State coming off that big win at Michigan. I think this is the spot where Michigan State turns it into a rock fight, gets ugly. I don't know what the weather is, but I'd imagine there's going to be like snow. That's what I'm envisioning, even though they're probably not going to be snow. That'd be kind of cool. But I think Michigan State wins an ugly game. Maybe Penn State's quarterback gets hurt or something. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a weird game that Michigan State pulls out an ugly win, like 20-17 or something.
Nice. I'm predicting Penn State to roll. Well, not roll, but like win by probably like 10 points or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're a pretty good looking team, and Michigan State. I not that I've like lost faith in this team. Like they have a good defense, but I mean they can't do anything on offense, and they seem kind of hot and cold as well. I don't know. Michigan State to me hasn't shown me anything to believe that they're capable of pulling. I mean, I'm sure there's like one upset in them, but I don't know. It's another one of my locks actually. I have Penn State.
Yeah, that's the safer
winning
pick.
this game.
Yeah, I think you're in the right spot, but I just have a feeling that Michigan State's going to make this a weird game. Yeah, so Madrid also has Penn State. Penn State, man. At a certain point, like they're legit. I'm still hating on them a little bit, calling them for 2 upsets in 2 weeks in a row, but Penn State, man. That Ohio State game in a few weeks whenever they play Ohio State's going to be big time. So
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the Big 12. The only other kind of marquee game is Oklahoma State at Iowa State. I mean, it seems like Iowa State's going to win this game.
Yeah.
It's just based on the trends of both teams and where they're headed.
It's
and
in Ames,
Ames
right?
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
2:30.
Yeah, I'm definitely saying Iowa State just based off of these two teams have like totally different trajectories right now. Iowa State is like definitely going on the up. They seem to be improving every week and getting better, and they kind of keep winning. And then Oklahoma State, for whatever reason, seems to be sliding downhill. I don't know why. I guess they're a young team, and like you said, they were banged up on their offensive line or something. But I don't know. I'm picking Iowa State.
Yeah, I agree. And Madrid is also taking Iowa State. Last game we're going to cover is Notre Dame at Michigan. This is always a fun matchup. It's a rivalry. I'm glad they're playing it. Again, it's a kind of a brief hiatus, but it's back. It was back last year too, but that was the first time it'd been played in some time. And Michigan's kind of just typical Michigan, like we've been talking about. Just can't win the big games, and Notre Dame's a big game. But it's in the big house. Jim Harbaugh has got to get this win if he wants to keep his job. But I don't even know if he wants to keep his job at this point.
Keep his credibility.
Yeah.
What's left
Save his
of it?
dignity.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I'm taking Notre Dame just because of that sole reason.
There we go.
It's just even though it's at Michigan, I think Notre Dame's a little bit of a better team anyways. And then the fact that Harbaugh's maybe looking for a way out, and Michigan just can't win big games.
Nice.
I also like Ian Book way more than Shea Patterson.
Oh,
so
totally.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame, and they might win by more than a touchdown.
Yeah. Oh, you mean Michigan? Oh wait, Notre Dame. Yeah.
Notre Dame, yeah.
I'm gonna take Michigan just because I had them getting beat last week, and they're not a good team. I mean, they're not a bad team. Like they are a good team. They're not obviously like a big time team. But I don't know if I can see them like losing back-to-back games where they should be able to win, you know.
Yeah.
Games that are winnable by their standard and based on the talent that their team possesses. And it's in the big house. And Notre Dame, I don't know. Like they're really good. But something about them like makes me like not overly confident.
Brian Kelly
playing Michigan.
Yeah. Brian Kelly, he's been consistent recently, but he typically
he'll drop a game every now and again too, yeah.
And it seems like one of those games that they could drop. So yeah, I don't hate that pick either.
What's Madrid say?
Madrid also is taking Michigan.
Ooh, all right.
I wonder who's favored in that game. I don't really know, but
I think Michigan is a favorite, and it was actually I was debating about having it as a lock, and then I was like, you know what, I am taking Michigan. But I mean, that's not a game that I'd bet on.
Yeah.
In general, like that might be one to stay away from. But yeah, is that it for week 9 picks?
Yes, that's gonna wrap it up. We can go into locks now.
All right, let's do it.
You go first, Trevor.
Okay, so per usual, I have 3 locks. Last week I went 2-1. My 2 wins. What did I have? Let me see real quick. Yeah, Oregon did end up beating Washington in a close game. A&M scraped by with Ole Miss. I mean, A&M's not good.
Yeah.
And then Boise State couldn't pull it out against BYU, so that was my 1 loss. But as I've already said, a couple of my locks for the week I already have up. LSU is I believe a 12.5 favorite over Auburn. I have them covering. I definitely see them winning by 2 touchdowns, maybe even more than that, honestly. Because
yeah,
I mean, this Auburn team's really, it's a good team, but I don't know, just based off of how they played against Florida, like they strike me as a team that can like crumble under pressure, which is weird because you know you would have thought like, oh, in that Oregon game, like they would have shown that, but for whatever reason, they didn't. Like that was the time that they didn't crumble under pressure, but since then, I don't know. Like you said, they kind of have that fool's gold feel right now.
Yeah, I agree.
So I have that. Penn State, 7-point favorite over Michigan State. Like I said, I definitely expect Penn State to win. Probably not a dominant win, but I definitely see them winning by more than 7, so I'm going to have them covering this game. And then last pick, Oklahoma, at least the line may have moved, but from what I saw, they were a 19.5-point favorite over K-State. I believe it's in Manhattan, but Oklahoma's really rolling right now, and I probably see them winning by at least 21, so I'll have them cover this game as well.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that OU pick a lot and the Auburn pick.
Yeah.
LSU covering against Auburn. Yeah. For me, I have SMU minus 13 against Houston. Little Thursday night action. It's at Houston, but Houston just barely beat UConn by 7, and they were outgained by UConn by like about 200 yards.
That's
so
sad.
Houston is really bad under Holgerson,
sad.
and Derek King's gone. So what little like glimmer of light they did have is gone, and their new quarterback is not Derek King. So I think SMU covers. I think they win by. It might be a 14-point game, but I think SMU could blow this one wide open. Actually, it's I would think it's a rivalry. The only 2 Texas schools in the AAC that play each other every year. So I don't know. I don't know what those AAC rivalries are like, but
Yeah.
I would imagine that Houston comes out pretty hyped, especially with SMU being 7-0 or whatever they are and ranked 16 in the nation. But I think SMU covers, and yeah, I think that's a pretty good pick. And on the other side, my other pick is going to be Illinois +9 at Purdue. And yeah, I just Purdue is 2-5, and Illinois, they might have a hangover from beating Wisconsin, but I like Lovie Smith, what he did last week, and what he's shown glimpses, and he recruits decently well. Purdue has been so banged up. Rondale Moore is still out, I think, and their quarterback is always injured. So I think 9 points is a lot of points to be laying. Actually, I think Illinois might be at home. Either way, I think Illinois could win this game just based on what I've seen last week. And Purdue is 2-5. Let's not forget that. So I just think 9 points is a lot. I think Purdue could win by 7, but I just think 9 points is Illinois is the safe side to be on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just have 2. And Matt Madrid, his locks are he's doing it. He's taking the poison. Texas -1.5 against TCU.
Oh yes.
I mean, he's basically betting on Texas to win. So, I mean, I don't hate it, but
I think that line keeps moving around, but yeah.
Yeah, that's where it was at when he made his pick a few hours ago. And yeah, hopefully we cover.
Oh, definitely.
And then his other pick is Kansas. he's high on Kansas now since they almost beat us. Kansas +4.5 at home against Texas Tech.
Ooh.
He's pretty much saying
All right.
Kansas might upset Tech, which I don't hate that, but like.
Nah, that's bold.
But I don't know.
Especially considering he went 0-2 again.
Yeah.
Last week.
Yeah,
This week.
Matt Madrid's on like he's on like 4-game losing streak. He needs to like
skid down.
Yeah, you need to stop listening to him.
Started out so hot.
Yeah.
What did you go last week?
So I went 1-1 last week. I held serve. I'm at 12-5. Trevor 11-7. Nice.
11-9.
No, I put your losses in.
Oh, I'm 11-7.
Oh, you have an 11-9. Okay.
That's what I have at least.
Oh,
But
well, that's not good.
well,
We'll
take the more favorable.
Go by mine. Go by mine.
Yeah.
I've been keeping the tabs on it.
Yeah.
And then Matt Madrid is at 500 now, 7-7. Remember he started off like 5-0.
Falling from grace. Yeah.
He got to his head, man.
Jeez.
He's getting wild with his picks now.
Yeah, and especially that Kansas pick. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Yeah, Texas Tech has a defense actually, and we didn't. And Texas Tech can move the ball also on offense. So yeah, I would think Texas Tech wins this game by a touchdown or more. But maybe. I mean, Carter Stanley looked kind of good, and so did Puka Williams, and it's in Lawrence. So who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But we're 30-19 overall, so we're still fairly in the money. We're kind of in a slump right now, but we're still getting you profits right now. So. Bear with us. Hopefully this week we have a good bounce back week and get a lot of wins on the board. But yeah, those are our locks for week 9. Man, the season's going by so fast. It's making me very sad.
It is. We got this game, and then we got another bye week, which honestly is great.
Yes.
Especially considering the injuries that we have, and just I feel like the season has kind of come to a lull in a way. So I think a bye week is good because it'll give us a chance to just not take a break from Texas football and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna go do this instead, or I'm not gonna waste my time watching.
Yeah, I don't need the stress this weekend.
Yeah. So it'll be good to kind of recharge the batteries and then actually come back watching the game with some passion, because I feel like that passion's been lost by a lot of the fan base, especially after OU and then after nearly losing to Kansas. It's to be expected.
There was a lot of hype whenever Sam Ehlinger declared us as back after we won the Sugar Bowl and nearly won the Big 12. And
nearly beat
naturally,
LSU.
naturally, it's a fall from grace, and the fans are going to be a little bit just apathetic right now. But if our defense comes out and balls out and we go out and handle TCU like we should, we'll be excited going into the bye week. Look, Kansas State's also a winnable game. If we can get to there 7-2, then we're in a good spot heading into Ames, and hopefully we'll be healthy heading into Ames and Baylor and Texas Tech.
Yeah,
so
those are big games.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we get it done this week, man. It's going to be another stressful game, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, well, that does it for our show this week. Let us know in the comments again kind of what you guys think about this audio-only format. Like we said, we got pretty good feedback last time around, so we might continue it. I don't think we'll always do it. I think we'll definitely go back to us being on camera. I think that's a little bit more personable and kind of different, makes us unique. But we'll play around with this and continue to experiment and all that good stuff. So yeah, let us know your thoughts. And again, as we said at the beginning of the episode, please subscribe. Definitely helps. So with that, have a good week. Get ready for a not night game against TCU.
That was good.
If you're headed out to Fort Worth, safe travels, enjoy Cowtown, and we will catch you next week.
All right, take care.
Longhorn Nation, we're back!